Gary, a good result and in what turned out to be quite a feisty pre-season friendly.
Yeah, it did. I don't know whether that was because it was a little bit niggly early on, and the ref kept giving every single little fall and foul and everything, and it just kind of started to wind you up a little bit. I have to say, first half, I was not too happy at half time. Gave the players a little bit of, I wouldn't say the full hairdryer treatment, but a semi-hairdryer, if that's possible. I don't know in the women's salon world that is actually such a thing, but I wasn't happy. I'm bored of seeing probably the second or third pre-season game in a row that looked like people were going through the motions, and people felt like maybe in 10 days it can just flick a switch on and suddenly be a top player. I don't think it works like that. So I wasn't happy at half time. And the players responded, in all fairness to them. Second half, we came out, looked like it meant a little bit to us. Started far more on the front foot, started with far more aggression. Too many times first half, we'd push in, they'd pass it round us and we wouldn't get close. I can't remember actually a tackle of any real meaning, or a sprint of any real meaning, or a shot of any real meaning. We had plenty of the ball again, but again, that's not what we're about and what we necessarily crave. It's what's at the end of it. So second half, much better. Felt as though we started to become a little bit more competitive. Again, whether there's a element of when the young players come on the pitch, without being disrespectful to the older ones, but it means a little bit more to them, which I know it shouldn't do that, but you know, it means a bit more to them, and they're not holding back perhaps as much. And they certainly livened it up once again. You know, particularly Jack Storer, dare I say it again, you know, he scored another goal. And you can't keep ignoring people if they keep scoring goals and keep running around and keep becoming a real handful for the opposition. You know, and again, listen, I'm not going to stand here and say that Jack Storer is suddenly going to go and score 20 goals for us in the Championship, but what I would say is the lad can't really do much more at the moment. He shows a real determination and a real pride to wear the shirt, which we know, you know, because he's a Blues fan. And he plays like that. And for me, that's what you want to see. And as did the other ones. I thought Viv looked bright when he came on. I thought Brownie looked, you know, very energetic when he came on. Josh Cogley the same. I thought I was going to get those on the pitch Sunday, Josh Cogley in particular. But I just felt as though this might be more of a football league game, if you like, in terms of the tempo and intensity, and perhaps we learn a little bit more whether one or two can handle it.
With Jack Storer, you said that, you know, he's earned his opportunity with his performances in training and the fact, you know, he'd scored 4 goals prior to this evening.
Well, you know, again, what you can only do as a young lad is, when you get your opportunity, is to try to take it. Whether that's, you know, if you're not a striker, then it might be something other than just scoring goals. But if you're a striker, you're always going to get judged on how many chances you look like you might make for yourself. And what you'd say on tonight, he's ran around, he's put himself about. You know, would he be fazed by first team football? Physically, I don't think he would. I think he's the one kid out there who are almost having to try and calm him down a little bit, because it looks like he's going to get sent off every game. But that's his enthusiasm, and it's trying to channel it in the right way. But not just that, but his ability. You know, he gets in the right position for the goal, finishes it off. I know it looks like a fairly routine finish, but he also had 2 or 3 other shots, one of which I think Clates made for him, a couple of which he made for himself. So again, listen, I'm not gonna stand here and say suddenly he's going to be the answer to all of our goal scoring issues, because I don't think we've got massive issues. But I certainly think he's put himself in a picture where, you know, maybe he could add to what we're looking for. I'm not saying we're still, you know, we're obviously going to bring another striker in, which I've said, but maybe he can add to that. You know, and I think he's been really, really good so far pre-season and looked dangerous every game.
You tried a couple of different formations this evening as well. Did you get out of that what you hoped for?
Well, I think that was just the way the game went, really, and the changes I wanted to make. I wanted to try and get 2 strikers on the pitch, but maybe play a different way to Sunday again, because, like we said before, you know, I think sometimes you could lose every pre-season game, everyone would be disappointed, but if you've learnt the things you need to learn, then that's what it's all about. You know, and that you need to tick certain things off and give certain people opportunity in various formations. So, yeah, we tried 1 or 2 things. I felt first half with 2 more advanced midfielders just gives us a little bit more of a combative edge. You know, as the game turned out, it didn't really play that way. You know, we didn't get close enough at times. We weren't competitive enough. Second half, I just felt, you know, let's get a little bit more pace on the sides of the pitch. I played shins wide first. It wasn't really a tactical thing. It was just to give him some time on the pitch, you know, and I wanted to play the way we did, so that was the only real space for him to play. And at times he looked bright. Unlucky with his goal. He was miles onside. It was Vaughan. He was 3 or 4 yards offside, but in an inactive position, so they got that one wrong. But yeah, so we learnt 1 or 2 things, and I thought we looked far more dangerous when we played with a little bit of edge about us. And I think it was Jack who went and made a tackle on the lad over the far side, and that seemed to spark the game off a little bit, like it has done in recent games. And what I say to the players is, you know, don't allow a tackle to be the thing that sparks the game off, or make the tackle in the second minute of the game rather than in the 60 odd minutes. So yeah, so pleased with bits of the game. Very disappointed with the first period of the game. But the players have responded, and maybe they'll kind of get an idea of what I'm after a little bit quicker this time.